tether balloons, wireless mesh, a new dynamic mobile network, and you're bringing them all together into this new way of doing things. Nobody's done it before.
What's up, Ada Nation? Welcome to DApp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. My name's Fareed. First and foremost, I want to thank you all for tuning in here on this wonderful Saturday, as there's so much to talk about when it comes to the world mobile ecosystem, WMTX, air nodes, earth nodes, and just a lot of really exciting things right now in the ecosystem. Now, this is all well ahead of the best part of the market cycle here, which is the bull market. So without any further ado, and as always, I'm joined by my two favorite co-hosts here. First and foremost, we've got Rob from the Trek Stake Pool. Rob, welcome up. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm getting better. It's going good, man. I feel a lot better now that the market is moving, and yeah, it just seems like everybody's energy has completely shifted. How are you doing on this wonderful Saturday?
It's tough. It's tough. The Huskers got beat last night, and it's just really disappointing. So, you know, that if you live in Nebraska, you know, Western Iowa, how the Huskers perform affects your mood and your life. And I'm kind of in the dumps at the moment. I'm sure it'll get better as the day goes on, but I'm still reeling from that bitter defeat from last night.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I would say just take a look at your WMTX portfolio. I'm sure that'll cheer you up a little bit. Without any further ado, let's get the second co-host up here. We've got Cal, aka Clover Nodes. What's up, man?
Hey, everybody. I'm doing well, man. Market's up. I'm happy. My Hosky's still worthless, but it's doing slightly better. So everything's looking good.
Yeah, it's not going to be worthless for too much longer. Surprisingly, Hosky, I think is it $100 million market cap? It just doesn't make sense to me.
It's been hitting all-time highs. Hosky's been killing it lately. And with all this talk about, you know, what Charles has been talking about. What is it called? The Hosky. I forget the name. Regardless, though, it's looking good, looking bullish.
It is. It sure is. Just want to say hello to everybody who's tuned in here so far. Let's take a look here. We've got Eric, aka Myself for All. Of course, we've got Limitless here. We've got Enzo Nodes, Aloha, Chetas, Danny, Eric Taylor in the crib. We've got Blistering Earth Nodes. And then we've also got, let's see here, Danny as well. So just want to say thanks everybody for tuning in here. We've got a jam-packed show. Want to give a huge shout out to Rob here for helping us to prep a lot of this content. As always, if you guys do enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by DApp Central, I would appreciate you if you would take the time to consider subscribing for more content just like this. And of course, if you got any questions or comments, leave those down below. If you're watching live, go ahead and leave those in the live chat. We'll go ahead and take questions periodically throughout today's show. So the first topic here we'll dive straight on in here is specific to air nodes. Following that, we'll talk a little bit about earth nodes, and then something that's inevitable, right? The fact that Orbital is now over a $200 million market cap. Token price is currently hovering well above 40 cents. And then there's a little bit of drama, which I'll give the co-host here an opportunity to sort of dive in or dive out of that. And then we'll close out here by reviewing a sneak peek of the highly anticipated World Mobile documentary. Now, that said, Rob, there's been quite a bit going on here in the ecosystem. I know that there's been the announcement for a new type of air node. You gave me a call the other day to sort of share that news with me, share some of that excitement with me. Maybe you could take an opportunity to sort of share that with the community here as well for anybody who maybe missed a little bit of that content about the Spark nodes and exactly where the next sale is taking place.
Yeah, so they announced that Spark node is going to be available in Pakistan. They're going to be available for sale. And that's going to happen on Tuesday, the 3rd of December. They announced that they're having an AMA on Monday. So I'm sorry, yes, there it is, the AMA. I'm reading wrong here. So there's going to be the AMA on Monday, and then it looks like the sale is going to happen the following day. So people can get all their questions, you know, answered and hear as much information as we can. Now, this is pretty cool because they have a very low price point. And there's actually going to be, if the more that you buy, the better the price breaks you're going to get on these things over time. But it's interesting because the dynamics changed on this. If you look on the Explorer, on the AirNode Explorer, you're able to see uh, that it's not priced per month, it's priced per year as far as rewards go. And so you're going to be able to kind of chart out, this is how much it's going to cost me, this is what the anticipation could be for a full year. And the interesting thing is, like you said, it starts at $62.99 for one of these, but you can't just buy one. They're selling them in bundles of 5. So that's pretty cool, because if you think about it, when you buy an AirNode, you're kind of stuck in a single location. And so if there's not a lot of traffic right there, you might be the one that's on the lower end of the spectrum as far as getting rewards. When you buy 5 of these, though, I don't think they're all going to be right next to each other. I think that you're going to have a kind of a grab bag, and so you might get some pretty high performing areas. And these things are in neighborhoods. They're not individual to a house. They'll actually cover several hundred meters, I believe. And so you're going to be able to buy 5 at a time as the minimum, right? And have the opportunity to earn from high performing areas, lower performing areas, but really get spread out with this. So even though it's $62.99 per thing, you're looking at about $315 per purchase, right? Per group. And I'm not sure that there's even a limit on this. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity here. It sounds like there are thousands of nodes available in Pakistan for sale. So this isn't going to be, I have to buy 5 at a time. That means by the time I click the buy button, all 50 or all 100 are going to be gone. This is going to be a very big sale, and it's exciting to see that they're doing it this way. And I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I used to live in Pakistan, and so I've been to Islamabad, I've been to Lahore, and so I'm familiar with these areas. And it's cool to see that this place that I was at 20 years ago is one of the first to onboard World Mobile and allow the sharing economy to come there. Because like I said, I used to spend a lot of time in those cities living in that area.
Yeah, really interesting. And thank you for the breakdown there. I do want to take an opportunity before we go any further, just to remind the community here, if you guys are just seeing Rob for the first time or Cal for the first time, check out the descriptions down below, links to their X profiles down there, both World Mobile ambassadors, very recognized here within the community. And I also want to just quickly shout out the World Mobile Alliance. So every Saturday we're streaming here, but anytime that we're not streaming here, you can catch all of the latest World Mobile news straight from the WMA, where Cal and Clover and usually myself are hosting Twitter Spaces. Now, having said that here, Rob, just looking at the official AirNode website here for World Mobile, really interesting to just think about the opportunity here that presents itself, right? And so as we can see, as you just mentioned there, $62.99 for the Spark nodes. It looks like you can buy, as you mentioned, in multiples of 5, but taking a look at some of the questions that have come in, I'm not sure that they've actually announced a total number that would be available, nor have they actually said you can only purchase, this many sets of 5. Now, one thing that I personally love about this brand new Spark node here, and Clover, I would love to get your perspective on this in just a moment, is the affordability. Right. So over time, we're continuing to see more and more nodes become more and more accessible. I know when they first launched, it was the portals for about $9,000 to $10,000. Then it went to, I believe it was the Apexes for around $16,000 to $17,000. And I think there was the Titans for like almost $100,000, and people were continuing to ask, when can the average person jump into some of these nodes? And I think that with these Spark nodes, they've now made that a possibility. Now, on top of that, as Rob mentioned, it sounds like you won't necessarily be subject to the earning potential of just sort of like one location. And so again, I would love to get more details about how they do that and how they sort of bundle these 5 together. But for me, the biggest thing I think is the affordability and just being able to jump in there. So I'm definitely going to be looking to accrue a couple of these Spark node bundles. And then, of course, that's also going to include, I personally think on my end, some Portal 180s. Now, of course, those a little bit on the higher end, but I would definitely love to sort of start to build up an arsenal of some of these nodes, especially as the sharing economy begins to kick off here. I do see a couple of questions that have already come in here. One really coming in from Blistering, and then there's another one coming in from Chetas, which we'll take here in just a moment, about WMTX and staking in the vaults and all of that good stuff. Okay, Cal, I do see you here. Any thoughts about the Spark nodes? Are you planning on picking some up? What's been your experience like so far? I know that there's also been the mention of some AirNode rewards, which I'd love to also dive into as well.
Yeah, so I'm always looking into expanding my AirNode portfolio for sure. Excited about Pakistan, like you said. It gives the affordability and it gives people the opportunity to jump in these AirNodes now at a much lower cost than what we're able to. And this is because these are not cellular nodes like what we see here in the United States, like the fixed wireless. These are more of a Wi-Fi node, and they'll, like Rob said, they'll be sold in bunches, but each hex will have like a cluster of air nodes. And because Pakistan is so dense, and there's so many people in Pakistan, there are going to be a ton of nodes. And from what I understood, most of these air nodes are going to be inside air nodes, and eventually they might even be connected to some sort of a cellular service, or at least allow people to use their eSIM cards in Pakistan and use these air nodes. So there's going to be a lot of potential when it comes to these type of air nodes, and I bet you this Spark air node is not going to be limited to Pakistan. And I'm sure we're gonna, excuse me, or I'm sure we're going to see this air node show up possibly in Zanzibar next, and other areas where World Mobile has been rolling out. But to answer your other question, today there was an announcement made from World Mobile, and now us air node operators are able to claim our rewards. So you can go to your dashboard, even though they're not live yet. For some odd reason, I logged into my AirNode dashboard, and the balance button is still grayed out. Excuse me, not the balance button, but the claim button is still not available. But I believe they will be available to claim possibly tomorrow, I guess. And for people that are claiming for the first time ever, you have two ways to claim your rewards. The first way would be adding your bank account under your account, and your rewards will come in, I believe, in 10 business days, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it's 10 business days. And your second way to claim your rewards will be through a stablecoin, and that will be through USDT stablecoin on Ethereum. And I believe someone asked on Discord today, will there be any additional fees if I claim, for example, from a bank account versus like a stable coin? World Mobile pays for any fees when it comes to a wire, if you select your bank account, and they will also cover the gas fees if you do a stable coin as well. So whatever you see on your dashboard, that's what you're going to be receiving.
Perfect. And maybe it's a quick follow-up here, Cal. I know you participated in multiple of these sales. We've got Mundo Bear asking, does payment via a debit card work for AirNode purchases?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you can do a debit card, a credit card, which works through Stripe, or you can do a bank wire, and I believe they give you X amount of days to be able to facilitate that bank wire. And there's also a payment through stablecoin. Yes, stablecoin, USDT, and that works through crypto.com. So there's three ways for you to get a AirNode, and I've requested this many times, and I really hope this comes at some point in the bull market next year. Hopefully we go into a bull market, even though I think we are in a bull market now. I would love to see a payment with WMTX. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I was about to say the same exact thing.
Payment with WMTX and a payout with WMTX as well. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially right now, right, as the valuation of WMTX continues to rise, that would over time continue to grow there with you. So I'm definitely not opposed to that, and I'm sure that the World Mobile team is aware of the sort of request from the community, and hopefully they're able to answer or make that a reality. One other thing here, let me just see. I think we did touch on this question earlier from Blistering. I'm not sure that they've actually confirmed a total amount. Is that correct, Rob? I know you mentioned that earlier.
It sounds like there's going to be a couple thousand for sale. And I mentioned price breaks earlier. The first 10 that you buy, the first two bundles are going to be $62.99 per AirNode. And if they haven't come out and said it yet, then I guess they told us the other day it'll come out on Monday. But there'll be a price break. The next bundle will be cheaper. I won't go into those details just because I'm not sure that they've formally stated that yet. But so if you buy 20, you'll get the first 10 will be at the first price, and then the next 10 will be at the next price, and so on and so forth. And I think there's even a third price break if you buy a much bigger amount. And so they'll go into all that. But this is an opportunity to really stockpile. I mean, you think about it, you buy 10 of these and you're talking $630 US. So that's cheaper than buying one link node, right? There will be people here, you know, you heard things like Nuvola. Hey, we're buying a ton of nodes in Pakistan. This is how. Now they've done very well. They have a lot of money. They're very invested in nodes throughout different ecosystems. But it's like, man, how do they get how are they going to buy hundreds of nodes? This is how, because these nodes aren't cheap. Now, you'd be shocked if they said they're buying hundreds of apexes or hundreds of portals, you know, which are, like you said, 9,000, 16,000. These are $62 starting, and they're going to go down in price the more you buy. So this is an opportunity for people, whether you're a big company like Nuvola that has a lot of funds, or if you're a small guy that just has an open limit on your credit card. You know, and again, not financial advice, but pay that off every month. Don't carry a balance on a credit card. But if you have that opportunity, this is a good chance to load up on some nodes that are going to be lower in price, that they've already shown the returns. It looks like 3 years or less on the overall return at current rates. And we could see some increases as more customers come on board.
Nicely stated.
Here's an idea. I want to jump in real quick, just because I got this idea, and I'm going to forget it in exactly 5 minutes. But have you guys seen how Elon Musk is allowing people to buy the premium subscription on X now as a gift for Christmas? Well, Mike, if you're listening, maybe we can come up with an idea where people can gift each other air nodes for Christmas. So, for example, like a gift card, you go into the merch store and you're like, hey, I want to gift you a node in Pakistan, and that will pay you, you know, a revenue for X amount of years. So I think that would be an excellent idea, and I would love that. If it's doable, I would totally gift my family air notes instead of worthless clothing or whatever else.
Yeah, no, the network and the economy that pays you back. I really love that idea. I think it's really sort of a good way to, to introduce people to the World Mobile ecosystem, right? That sort of gives them obviously something that they can earn, and then something that keeps them coming back. And before you know it, maybe they onboard other people, et cetera. So I really like that idea. Mike, if you're listening, definitely help us out there. I think that could definitely bring in some new users into the ecosystem. Now, I'm poking around there as Rob is speaking, and I was able to actually stumble across something very interesting. So it looks like we do have a little bit of information about the potential discounts that you can earn by actually purchasing more than one bundle of the Spark nodes. So looking here at the website, I've toggled to Pakistan. We can see that these launch on the 3rd of December. And then we can see that if I hover over here, if you're buying 1 to 10, as Rob mentioned, that's $62.99. And then if you're buying anywhere between 11 to 150, that's for $52 a piece. And then you've got that really big discount there if you're buying anywhere between 150 to 500. So what that tells me there is that there's probably going to be like hundreds of thousands of these potential nodes if they're going to be selling, 1 to 500, for one particular person. And so that then raises another question about the actual exponential growth of air nodes for the mobile sharing economy. If I jump back over here, I'm trying to see exactly where there it is, the ecosystem. We currently have 2,500 nodes. And so I'd love to maybe go to the both of you guys again, because we did predictions probably about 6 to 8 months ago about where we thought World Mobile would be at the end of the year in terms of total number of air nodes actually deployed. And I'll pose this to the community members watching this as well. In the live chat, let us know exactly how many air nodes you think or believe will be deployed here by World Mobile before the end of the year, maybe next year, right? So I know that the end of the year is coming up soon here. We've only got about 1 month left. But thinking about, the next 365 days, if we're getting nodes put up by batches of 500, where does that leave World Mobile as a node operator? I'm thinking like at this point, because I know Rob said it last time. I think Rob might have said like 80 or 90K or some crazy number. And back then that wasn't possible to me. And that was just because of what we'd seen deployed and how long it took for the sort of initial ramp up period to happen. But now with these Spark nodes, it sounds like they're going to be much easier, much lighter, and much less cumbersome to deploy. And for me, I'll sort of maybe just kick this off. I'm thinking anywhere between 80 to 100K if this is sort of the rate that we're going to be deploying these at. And then to add, there's Zanzibar, et cetera. So just wanted to sort of pose that question as we get ready to wrap up the air node topic. Maybe Rob will let you go first, and then Cal will come to you.
I want to interrupt with a tangent.
Go for it.
I need you to, Fareed, here in the next few seconds, check backstage. We're going to have a special guest joining us.
I see him. Great job. We got an awesome guest tuned in here.
That's why I had to jump off the screen so I could answer a phone call. So
no worries.
We have a co-founder with us.
Yeah, this makes our lives a lot easier. So now we don't have to worry about leading the show, right? We can ask the co-founder all the good questions and sit back and listen. Mr. Co-founder, you're backstage. If you look on the right-hand side of the streaming platform, there's a private chat. If you want to just give us a heads up there, just give us a green light or thumbs up or something. That way we know that you're ready and we can go ahead and bring you up there. Okay. Oh, he looks like he's ready. So without any further ado, Rob, thank you for bringing him along here. We've got Emmanuel Kratch. Mr. Emmanuel, welcome up. How are you?
Hey, Fareed, Cal, Rob, how are you guys doing today?
Doing better now. How are you doing?
Great. I mean, thank you for having me on. It's a great way to spend my Saturday with you guys on and listening to what you guys have to say. So it's a pleasure. Thank you.
No, the pleasure is ours. And I think now we get to listen to you because you're here now, right? So, Rob, maybe you want to kick things off, sort of guide the conversation. If you have any specific comments, about the Spark nodes or anything else that's, a relevant topic to discuss with Emmanuel.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to point out first, last week we did a space on a Friday night here in the US as opposed to our normal Saturdays. And Emmanuel joined, and I was actually, after that space was over, I was gonna kind of taunt him a little bit. I said, hey, Mickey joins. We've had Mike join. We've had Manny join. But we're seeing you on this documentary. Why haven't we seen you on any of our spaces yet? We'd love to have you. But then he before I could even taunt him, he joined, and now we're 2 weeks in a row getting one of my favorite people up here on these spaces with us. So this is a real treat, and I've had the opportunity to spend time with Emmanuel several times at conventions, but then also he's the one that actually invited me down to go to the Aerostat with him. And so definitely a real treat to have, a good friend like that coming up here and helping with the stage, because you know how busy he is. So, Emmanuel, we were just talking about some aerostats and not aerostats, air nodes and the sales, but something else had been kind of leaked out recently. Mickey said it on an El Jaboom podcast, but there's another country in Europe that starts with a P. I'm sorry, Asia that starts with a P, not Pakistan, that we're looking at deployment at. And I was wondering if you had any ability to talk at all about expansion beyond Pakistan, where we're at now, whether that's the Philippines or other countries that we're looking at. How is the expansion with World Mobile going?
Look, it's we're getting a lot of interest, and I think people listening to the show, if you guys just I think you could count on one hand, even less, but how many countries start with the letter P that's in Asia? You guys could probably guess which one it is, right? I can't say right now, but it's a booming country, a growing country, a country that also loves crypto. The fundamentals of blockchain is used throughout the economy there, and there's a lot of interest from one of a very large company out there, a partner that really wants us to come in and bring our solution and help on the blockchain side. So there's a lot of interest there, and we're working carefully with them. Can't reveal too much information before we actually go out with an announcement, but it's very positive, and it's people are very excited with what we can bring to the table.
For any of the viewers who have some doubt or who maybe just need a little bit of a push in the right direction, Hopefully this is of help. So I'll just leave that up there for a couple more seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so
Go.
Pakistan, Papua New Guinea, People's Republic of China, and the Philippines. Yeah, so actually, for people who don't know, is actually China as well. But it is one of those countries. I can't name which one it is. We are working with a big three. We were there just now. We were there a month and a half ago. I was there with Charles in this country. I'm making sure I don't slip up. And it was very exciting. We were there for 4 or 5 days. We very, very busy meeting the executives of the company, company that has many users, more than 10 million users. I think it's around 12 million users, and they want to, have these users come onto the blockchain and use our services. So that's a very big deal for us, and that's why we're taking this opportunity very seriously. And that's why I can't say too much right now, but it is very, very excited, and it will be huge.
Nice. And maybe while we're on this particular topic, unless Rob, did you want to add something else there? I wanted to ask a quick question.
Go first.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to ask Emmanuel, is there anything that you guys have sort of learned about the customer's needs there, right, in whichever country it is that you're expanding to, that maybe hasn't been met anywhere else, or that is like sort of new, right, that you guys are hearing about there?
It's actually surprising to see how advanced some of these third world growing countries are in terms of digitalization and the use of, their smartphones. And I think they're much more advanced than, for example, some other countries who would think that they would be, there with all the technology. So they've skipped, right? They've skipped a lot of the infrastructure that I'm used to, and they've gone directly to digital. So they depend on their smartphones a lot. They depend on also sending money in and out of the country, remittance. That's another big area of is a very big topic out in this country that we're working with. And the use of our blockchain, not just from the telco side of things, but also coming onto our chain and to help them develop the blockchain that they require to facilitate all the payments, is also going to be something very interesting and something that we're working on closely with them.
Nice. Sounds like a lot of new opportunities. Cal or Rob, any additional questions?
I want to jump in and ask a question real quick. First of all, hi, Emmanuel. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you coming to all of these shows, by the way. You joined the Alliance previously, and now you're on the stream. I'm sure the viewers enjoy as much as we do. So thank you so much for joining on this Saturday. We know how busy you are, but you did mention that that country is very open to crypto. And I wanted to ask you, how do you think the people on the ground are welcoming technology such as World Mobile that builds everything on blockchain? And I guess a second question is, how do you see the impact of World Mobile to a local economy
Sure.
outside of the United States?
Look, blockchain is a facilitator. Right now in this country of discussion, mobile money is something that's very, very important to every single user in this country. It's important for their daily lives, and we're looking to implement our solution within the mobile money ecosystem with this partner of ours. It's at the end of the day, telecom is telecom. We're going to provide them with fast, affordable, and secure internet, and that's what we're doing with them. But in addition to that, the mobile money component is something that is a utility that they're requiring from us to help them build. And as I mentioned, this company has around 12 million customers. It's growing every day. It's the third. It's one of the third. It's like either the third. It's the third largest telco operator, and it's one of the growing operators as well. So there's a lot of potential there, and it's very exciting for us.
So, Emmanuel, with that, if they're requiring a mobile money option from World Mobile that's on the blockchain, does that mean they want to start their own type of a token? Will they be using WMTX, or what kind of options are they going to have with that mobile money on the blockchain?
It will definitely have utility within WMTX. There's going to be a lot of cross-pollination and cross-utilization between the token that we're building with them onto our chain. They will launch onto World Mobile Chain, and all of the utility within the country that the users will use will have the ability to stake onto the different infrastructures, such as the air nodes that we're going to be rolling out there, the SIMs, right? All of the types of infrastructure that we will be rolling out, WMTX will be a very big component. And in addition, their own token will also be used. However, WMTX will be the default. It will be the blood of the network, and that's what will be driving everything.
Any additional? Go ahead, Rob.
That's huge. 12 million users using the World Mobile Chain with token interoperability. Wow, I don't even know where to go with that.
There goes the answer for people that always ask, what's the World Mobile Token utility? There you go.
It's going to be this is something that's going to really help drive a lot of value to our Earth node operators, right? It's a real use case that's happening, and the good thing is that people need this. The company that we're working with need this very badly, and we could provide this. So it's like a perfect marriage for us. And look, our vision is just getting stronger and stronger by the day as our technology is building, as our sharing economy is building. People are taking note, and they see the real value of what we can bring to the table. And the good thing is that's what we can bring to the table is it's simple to understand, and the value creation for these companies is also attainable very quickly, right? We're not talking about years. We're talking about let's implement, let's get these, we have a timetable of weeks to get these things done. So, yeah, it's very exciting for us.
Thank you for that. And I think for me, what that's letting me realize is the sort of like the perfect storm coming together, right? You've got the macro conditions, and at the very same exact time, you've got World Mobile executing and onboarding, big players like whichever area that you're currently in. Of course, again, we've left some clues there. So hopefully people are able to sort of put two and two together. I do want to give a quick shout out here to fellow content creator, Cardinal with Paul, who's tuned in here. Also a huge contributor to the World Mobile ecosystem. Back to Manuel though. One thing that we're discussing earlier were the Spark nodes. So now it seems like, USA has gotten their sort of 2 or 3 different drops or batches of air nodes that have been released. Now it's Pakistan. What else comes next? Could we also see sales in this new country, soon? And if so, maybe when?
Pakistan, it's going to be huge. It is huge. It's I don't know how to really put this into words, but we're talking about hundreds of thousands of nodes that are going to be deployed there. And hundreds of thousands of nodes that will be able to be attained by our sharing economy, right? Driven by our sharing economy, right? This is something that, we've been working on in the background for quite a bit. I mean, just in general speaking, like we're doing things properly. Things sometimes take a bit more time. We need to build good foundations to really make these opportunities for our sharing economy actually happen and possible. And that's why we don't take any shortcuts, right? And we've made sure of that. So Pakistan it's one of the fastest growing countries for telecoms and one of the fastest growing populations. And in terms of population, it's already massive. The use of telecoms is there. And we are, we discussed that other country in Asia with 12 million subscribers, right? But this country has hundreds of millions of in terms of population as well. And, when we're talking about, having one of our air nodes, one of the Spark air nodes connect, they're connecting around 20 to 30 people, right? It's not just one. So the adoptability of the World Mobile solution just from one air node to get to 20 to 30 people, that just, from my perspective, I could speak from my perspective, it's exponential growth, right? You want one Spark node to 20, 30 people, you're connecting a lot of people and you're making a lot of people come onto the World Mobile Network. And that's the beauty of it. We're serving public nodes, we're serving them into stadiums, shopping malls, communities, villages, just about anywhere where people need internet, and the use of internet is very high in Pakistan.
Yeah, a lot of people are excited, and
it's inevitable, right? So it's happening because it needs to happen.
Yeah, it's funny because right before you actually joined us here, and I don't know if you caught that bit of the conversation, we were just about to go in a circle and guess as to how many air nodes will be deployed as a part of the World Mobile Network by the end of next year. And I was going to take a high number, at around 100K. And it sounds like with the release of these Spark nodes, not only are they much more affordable, but it looks like you guys are going to be deploying them by the masses. We just got done taking a look at the World Mobile Scan website where, we're talking about the affordability, the price, and then the discount that you get with, I think it's like 150 to 500 of these nodes. And so I think once we see that sale happen, we're going to see massive numbers here when it comes to the World Mobile economy, which I think is also going to sort of pique interest, right? People are going to wonder, what is this particular network doing to grow so quickly? And hopefully that allows for them to come in and, understand what World Mobile is doing, but then also contribute to the mission itself. Rob or Cal, anything that you guys want to maybe ask about? Otherwise, I think we maybe take the opportunity to shift gears a little bit, and then also maybe want to ask. Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but it just if you think about it, legacy infrastructure, legacy business models are dying, and in a country like Pakistan, where you have so many people, and just incentivizing the average user, around the world to help deploy a network, that brings the cost much lower to deploy, right? You're looking at, large companies like Telenor and other, large telco operators in Pakistan. They're losing a lot of money, right? It's sometimes it's hard to use your legacy business models and infrastructure to deploy in the harder to reach areas. It just doesn't make sense economically, right? You're talking about, one tower that takes, months to plan, months to then deploy. And then, what happens if the population diverts from that area? It's like, it just doesn't make sense. So coming from a sharing economy angle, using small cells, using our air nodes powered by the sharing economy, powered by the people using it, that's what makes the difference, right? It's much more nimble, flexible, quicker to deploy.
And also, I want to jump in and say how resilient the World Mobile Network showed that it is in Pakistan. Recently, when we saw the government kind of shut down all the cellular nodes, and the World Mobile Network was not affected by that, which just again shows how resilient the network is. And if when people start to purchase these air nodes, they can feel comfortable knowing that if something like this happens, World Mobile has done their homework with the amount of years of experience that they have, and they can, offer something that will not just shut down and stop earning revenue. So if I personally think companies, need to start taking notes if they're not already taking notes with the way the World Mobile sharing economy is growing.
Perfect. From the community, if there's anybody who has questions that you guys would like to pose directly to Emmanuel, or we've got him here as a special guest, feel free to go ahead and leave those down there. Rob, is there anything else that you maybe want to sort of ask to Emmanuel? Otherwise, maybe we continue with the agenda and see if Emmanuel wants to add or contribute to those conversations as well.
Well, I think that Emmanuel, he's obviously he's U.S. based. He's working in the U.S., so he's going to have some information on what's going on there. And again, this is one of the few times I'll ask a when question to Emmanuel, but I've asked this to Mickey as well, and I think I'm okay with it. Emmanuel, I am tired of AT&T, and I'm not under contract, and I want to become a World Mobile cellular customer. when can I port over? When can I start paying World Mobile to provide me cellular services?
I love that question, right? Because we're so excited by it. And that's a very good when question. I think that's a when with a capital W. The first customers will be ported in January.
Is that breaking news here or what?
That's awesome. I was joking because Rob from Digital Asset News talked about how he's going to be moving over to World Mobile for his provider, and he'll be one of the first customers. And I actually got on and said, "Sorry, Rob, but I'm going to be the first Rob that's a World Mobile customer. I've called dibs."
Yeah, that is impressive to hear. I feel like the lineup of services that Robo is providing continues to grow in at a very, very quick pace. Again, I think the timing couldn't be better there, Emmanuel. A really good question coming in here from Jeff, who's also an Earth node operator here. If you're able to answer this one for us, Emmanuel, that'd be appreciated. But are the air nodes in Pakistan already installed and earning rewards, or will we have to sort of wait after the initial purchases for them to actually be installed at X location?
That's a very good question. And as a part of what we do at World Mobile is we make sure that we bring customers on board as well, right? So from day one, you'll see the rewards because there are a lot of customers already there. There's around 30 to 40,000 customers right now with the batch of nodes that you guys are seeing. So it's a high number. And that's why we're ready to prepare to launch these air nodes to the public.
Nice, and thank you. Community, keep those questions rolling in. Go ahead, Rob.
Sorry, I'm going to jump back to my last question. I have one more. If customers are in the U.S. are able to start using World Mobile as a cellular company for their mobile devices, I live in a place that's outside of the cellular coverage with the spectrum that we have in the 4 states. So my question would be, if I, who live, near Nebraska, Iowa border, kind of a range right in the middle of the country, if I wanted to switch over to World Mobile, I'm going to be completely roaming. Will there be an option for me to get something in my area so World Mobile doesn't have to pay AT&T or Verizon for roaming charges? Is there a way for me to set something up here locally, either at my farm, at my house, or in my community? Whereas right now we don't have licensed spectrum in this area.
Absolutely. So maybe this is another breaking news without you asking me when, but I'll just tell you guys right now. We will be launching a nationwide rollout. What I mean by that, we will allow the users, the sharing economy of World Mobile and anyone else who's joining our sharing economy to purchase hexes across the world, specifically in the US to start. These hexes will be in forms of NFTs. These hexes will have the ability to also optimize any infrastructure. So let's say you're in Nebraska, Rob, right? You are in Nebraska. You could purchase the hex that you see fit for your area. Within that hex, you'll have the ability to launch your own Operation Air node. People will then do exactly. Go ahead.
Go. Now I was gonna say, I feel like you gave us a cliffhanger there. Go ahead, Rob. Go ahead.
Will that be the type of air node? Will that be one that has spectrum, or will that be more of a CBRS type of a node? And again, Manuel, I want to preface this again. You're giving us more than I mean, I'm shocked. I don't want you to get in trouble, and I don't want you to spill the beans if these questions are too out there for you. So I do apologize.
No, you don't have to apologize. And you know me, I'm straight up. If I can't say something, I don't say it. But I'm more than comfortable in saying what I'm saying right now. It will be at first CBRS, so unlicensed spectrum. It's actually licensed, but we call it unlicensed. And then an overlay of licensed spectrum is definitely in the art of possibility. We are working on licensed spectrum rollout throughout the US as well. Whether or not it's going to be lit up by the time we launch this, that's to be determined. So let's just, keep our expectations where they are right now and work off the basis that yes, in the future, absolutely, licensed spectrum is in the art of possibility. But at first, we'll be launching with CBRS.
Nice. Sounds to me like we need to bring you back on the show more often, Emmanuel, to break some of this alpha with us. Thank you again for taking the time, first and foremost, and then for the transparency, right? Being open and sharing a lot of this stuff here with us. I definitely sure do appreciate it. We've got an additional follow-up here, sort of shifting back to Pakistan, coming in from Jeff again. And I know that this is something that we were discussing earlier, and obviously we're not, with you guys there on the ground, but this is a question that's come up a couple of times already. So are you able to tell us exactly how many nodes we can expect to be installed in Pakistan? And I assume that this is in reference to the Spark nodes.
Yeah, sure. I mean, as I mentioned, hundreds of thousands within the foreseeable. This first drop will be, a fraction of hundreds of thousands. And I'm not sure if that's already been publicized of how many nodes we are going out with, but it's close to 10,000. So it's a lot of nodes. Given that we have a huge amount of customer base right now, around 400,000 customers, it makes sense for us to do this size right now. And then as we grow our customer base, as the air node operators help grow our customer base with the affiliates program that we're going to launch, with different tools that we're going to launch to facilitate marketing, we foresee that 100,000 to even 100,000 plus to be very attainable very quickly, to have very good returns because of the increasing subscriber base.
And that's just the thing, you could go set up nodes everywhere right now, but without subscribers, we know that there are some networks that have tried to do that and they've pumped out nodes but haven't generated income. So I like that your customer first approach. It makes sense, and it in a way it's you guys are kind of taking the risk because you're the ones out there doing it up front before you release these nodes for sale. So in a way, you're really sheltering the community from buying things that don't have a return on them. And again, I say this all the time, Emmanuel. Knowing you and knowing Mickey and Charles and what the character is behind the person, but this just speaks to the integrity of World Mobile, is that you guys are doing these things, but you're sheltering us, you're shielding us from some of the negative. I mean, you obviously can't shield the community from everything, but you guys you're stepping up there first, and you're not making any promises up front, and you're risking, hey, if this doesn't work, it's going to bite you guys a lot harder before we're allowed to get in. And I just think that speaks to the integrity and the character that you guys have built as a company here with World Mobile.
Yeah, I mean, we do things right at the end of the day, and the risk, it's not that big because we have, the right intelligence in Pakistan, as an example, right? We've good partners, we have the right intelligence. We've taken this long to prepare ourselves for this moment. And, here we are. We're at a point where the sharing economy could, blossom, take part in what we're doing, and come in at the right moment, right? Because we had to learn along the way, right? We had to learn. It wasn't such an easy ride to create what we created. And we want now our sharing economy to benefit from what we've learned, and then duplicate it and replicate. And that's where you're going to see the exponential growth across the US and across the world. Copying the model that we've done, we introduce it then into the sharing economy, and then the sharing economy is going to take it, and it's going to spread like wildfire. That has been the vision all along.
Thank you. And Emmanuel, I think that the community is finally warming up here. We've got tons of questions coming in. So I want to let you have your pick here. I'm going to just read a couple of these. And so again, if any of these interest you, just let me know and I'll stop and give you an opportunity to sort of expound on it. But the first is coming in here from Enzo Nodes, fellow Earth node operator, asking, will other telcos be roaming onto World Mobile? We've got Capitalist Pig asking, is there any business concerns regarding Starlink's rollout of the direct-to-cell service? We've got Jeff following up asking about the 50 states that are covered by spectrum and sort of what the word quote unquote markets means. And then we've got an additional question coming here from Mate, who's asking if you guys will be providing services to the European Union. So you've got your pick there. Did any of those stick out to you that you want to jump in on?
Well, I'm happy to answer all of them, right? That's what I'm here for. Starting with the last one, European Union, of course. I mean, that's definitely on our, within our plans, whether or not it's, right now or in a year or a bit more than that, that's to be seen. And of course, as we're launching this global push, the nationwide push with the Hex Guardians, with the ability for people to optimize their own infrastructure to sell into their markets, that in itself, it doesn't mean it takes the barrier away that World Mobile has to go into every single country. It will go, but through the sharing economy. So definitely the European Union it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Taking your second question, I think was from Enzo Node.
Mm-hmm.
I see another question from Enzo Node. Will other telcos be roaming into World Mobile? Can you just repeat the first question again? Just to make sure I get it. Yep.
Not a problem. Not a problem. So we had one coming in from, hold on. I do apologize. Yeah, this is the question coming in from Enzo about the roaming telecom. We had Capitalist Pig asking about Starlink and any concerns there. And then we had Jeff asking about the 50 markets.
Yes. Jeff, definitely. We are working on it. We're looking for a nationwide rollout of licensed spectrum. So that's right now we're working on it very hard. As a matter of when, I don't know myself. These things take time. It's not easy, but we know how to do it. We've done it before across 4 states, across 4 big states, and we're looking to get 46 more states. We have. Oh, sorry, I was reading another question, and then the other question was on roaming. Is that correct?
Yes, there's one about roaming, and then the direct to cell.
Yes. So direct to cell Starlink, definitely not an issue for us, right? Starlink is very complementary to what we do.
Emmanuel, I'm so sorry. Do you mind just maybe explaining what direct to cell is for anybody who isn't aware of what that means?
Yes. So it's when your phone attaches directly to, for example, a radio, a cell tower. This would mean that the phone connects directly to the Starlink in space without needing to have an extra device. That's the beauty of cellular. The whole idea is that you don't need to have like a small unit next to you, like what Starlink sells right now, to connect your phone, but it would mean that wherever you are, you could connect directly to the Starlink in space.
Thank you for that. And I'm not sure if you want to maybe answer the question now as to whether or not there's any business concerns about the rollout of Starlink's direct-to-cell feature.
No comment on Starlink's rollout. They are doing a fantastic job. We work with them, as you guys have seen, and you guys will see more on the 11th, which is very exciting. But again, Starlink is very complementary. Their technology fits purpose, and our sharing economy fits purpose as well. So
perfect.
We use technology, right? We implement technology within the sharing economy to help spread things like wildfire and to make people like us incentivized to do so versus having the big, large corporates benefit from it all.
Thank you. I hope that answers your question there, Capitalist Pig.
There's no concerns whatsoever. Just so I could just put it out there. There's absolutely no concerns. It's just more business opportunities, right? we welcome different ideas. We welcome different technologies into the sharing economy.
Thank you there for the reassurance. The final question here coming from the community before I turn it back over to Cal or Rob. This is coming in from Enzo Notes, fellow EarthNode operator, asking about what other telcos or companies will World Mobile be roaming with or on?
Yeah, so we have agreements with hundreds of operators across the world. Right now in the US, we have agreements with big operators such as AT&T. So yeah, so I'm not going to name every single name out there, but we are very comfortable in our roaming partners, in our roaming capabilities. We have a global eSIM as well. So you can imagine that we have a lot of partners to help us out with that in terms of roaming.
Perfect. I feel like there's a lot of other questions that we could definitely go down, and I did not expect you, Emmanuel, to be joining us here, so it's sort of thrown a little bit of scheduling off, but I do definitely want to give Rob and Cal an opportunity to join the conversation here, to ask any questions that they think that are important for you to be able to answer here with this live.
I just wanted to add maybe something on Starlink, which I didn't get to. It's very limited in terms of bandwidth because there's nothing in the middle between the actual Starlink and the phone. So you can imagine how long it would take for them and how big of a constellation it would have to have in order to cater to a lot of users on the ground, right? So I think limited bandwidth is something to think about when you're thinking about rolling a cellular network out. But right now, Starlink is doing what they're doing because they're connecting people in the middle of the desert. If you need to send a text, which is a good solution. But I don't think there's no concerns with regards to competition because it has technical limitations. And in terms of the roaming side of things, as I mentioned, we have over 100 roaming partners, so we're already in tunes. We're working. We have already over 100 signed. And back to that question, to answer it directly, we're looking to sign more. In the US, we have 30 alone.
Thank you for the alpha. Rob or Cal?
The entrepreneur in me is very excited listening to you, Emmanuel. My brain, right now is going like 100 miles an hour, like just thinking about all the opportunities we're going to start getting in January in 2025 alone. Anyone can now or soon be able to start their own network, not only individuals, but companies. And speaking about companies, we were recently on a X Space, and a special proposal passed, and it sounds like the biggest meme coin on Base now is owner of an air node. So I just wanted to ask you, do you foresee other companies and other projects doing the same thing moving forward?
Definitely. And that's what we're working on with large corporates already. For example, one of the P countries in Asia, right? That's what we're that's a part of our game plan. And in terms of what Toshi has done as a meme coin, it just shows how utility can be married to a meme coin, right? Meme coins are cool, but they're even cooler when it attaches to utility. And what Toshi has done in their own right is huge. And just to look at the results of the vote, it's a very good validator to what we're doing. Over 10,000 different people voted, and I think it was 10,100. And I think only a handful of people said no. The 93% yes vote was based off of a weighted average, based on, I think, the more Toshi tokens you have, the more weight you have on your vote. But it was like almost close to 99% of the people said yes to this. And they see the value of it. They see the value of utility. They see the value of the air nodes as well. And coming into this new community, this new sharing economy of Base. And by the way, shout out to the whole World Mobile community that has made it so much easier and has helped out with, even on social media, just, comments and adhering to different questions that the base community have, and really make it a seamless transition to making the world mobile sharing economy even larger, taking from our first stage of our sharing economy, our community, to this next stage, and you guys made it happen. So, it's definitely been, it's been welcomed with open arms, and the vote was casted, and the proof is in the pudding. We are working with many memes, right? We're working with many meme coins. Snack has not reached out yet, which is a bit surprising, but I think they will. But let's see, right? It's a lot of opportunity for these meme coins.
Don't worry. I'm gonna. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't worry. We'll get y'all connected ASAP.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Cal. Did you want to add any follow-ups there?
No, I gave him a little push the other day on X, just so I can give him a little reminder, and that's like another reason why I joined that Toshi space. Not only because I wanted to share my perspective as an air node operator and all the great opportunities that air node can bring to an individual, but also the fact that it just blows my mind away that an actual company or a meme coin, right, can now fully fund not fully fund their operations, but assist with funding their operations. So that right there makes me now think, okay, well, if a meme coin does that, what about any other business, right? Like it could be anything. Like it can be a hospital, it can be a library, it can be, a mom and pop shop, that can fund some of their operations and also connect their community while earning rewards. It's just the possibilities are endless. That's why I said my mind is like going 100 miles an hour right now, just because like I can think of so many different things. It's great. I love World Mobile.
Well, and then Cal, something to go with that, something to think about is, you think what do we invest for? We invest for the future. We invest for retirement. We invest for times when money isn't as flowing as easily, and so a lot of times when people are working, they maybe have a bit more discretionary income, things that they can they can go out and buy bigger things. And when you get more into a fixed income, it becomes a little bit harder. And so just like with these meme coins things, when they have a token launch or something and there's a lot of extra cash flowing, to find ways to reinvest that so that there's residuals, things coming in later. People that are looking at retiring, buying a couple of air nodes right now, buying some things are going to generate revenue over time potentially is, that's an ideal thing to do. Is if you have a little bit extra cash, that lump sum right now, knowing it's going to pay out for years and years and years moving forward. So it's kind of a long-term thinking. And I think, for individuals, like you said, the mom and the pop shop, the single person wanting to get in, I think it's a good idea. But you look at these things like Toshi, like these meme coins and these other Web3 entities, that immediately says, hey, we're not here for a rug. We're here for the long term. We want to have ways to generate income to carry us through when things are lean, so we don't have to fold. We don't run out of cash, because we have it now. We're investing in things that aren't cycle dependent. People are going to be using their cell phones. People are going to be using Wi-Fi access on their devices, and it doesn't matter if Bitcoin's $100,000 or Bitcoin's $15,000. People are going to be doing that. And so to have the forward thinking by these companies and these groups to buy out to do this, I think that shows that they're sincere about being here for the long term, and that gives you more confidence in them because they have confidence in what World Mobile is doing. And I think that confidence is well earned based on what we've seen out of World Mobile, out of Emmanuel, and out of the rest of the team over many years now.
Thank you for the kind words, Rob. I really appreciate it.
And if I could just quickly add, sorry, did you want to add something there, Emmanuel? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just need to drop shortly. I have some work to do. So
no worries. I think we'll go ahead and let you off here in just a second. I just wanted to just add to that equation, right? For a lot of people, they sort of wonder why meme coins and why even engage with them. But one thing that I've thought about and realized is you need two things for, I think, in my opinion, a project in the space to be successful. The first is you need an actual product, something that provides service or utility, right? Which World Mobile has. The sharing economy, the numbers are beginning to grow. But then the second thing you need is a community. And so obviously World Mobile has one of the strongest communities alone by itself. But that's the power of meme coins, is they don't typically have the utility, but they've got a really, really strong community. And so to see the fact that like these two things are now coming together, World Mobile providing utility with an already sort of growing and thriving community, which is Toshi, I think makes a lot of sense. And it's really a good match. That said, Manuel, I know you said that you've got to jump here. Are there any final thoughts or questions from Rob and Cal before we let you go?
I always have questions, and I'd love to speak for more hours, but I really have to go. I have some work to do now. But just to close it off, like I'm very comfortable in saying that we are the number one DePIN. We are number one. The reason why is because we're doing things right. We worked hard to do things right, and we've not just rushed with decisions. We've done things right, build a strong foundation. We have we have the best community out there. We have the World Mobile Alliance, right? That's huge for us. It's like, this is the real blood of the network, right? It's you guys. We're just facilitating. We're providing the tools to get this done, to connect half the world, to allow people to be incentivized, to allow people to make money, right? And not just the large telcos just to make billions and billions of dollars. We're bringing a new economy into reality, right? Just like Airbnb, just like Uber. It took them years to do this, but they did it right. And that's why they're still leading in the industry, right? Not many people believed in them at first, but look where they are at today. And that's the movement that we're starting. So right now, our focus is on the US. We are World Mobile. We are very focused here, and we are unstoppable. And that's, a big thanks to you guys, the World Mobile Alliance, and all the listeners today. I really appreciate your time, and it's an honor to be on stage with you guys. So thank you so much.
Thank you there, Emmanuel. We've got record-breaking numbers here for the stream. Definitely kudos to you, and I just want to say thank you. I do see, and Emmanuel, feel free to drop if you've got to run at this point, but I do want to address one question here that came in from the community. And so, Nams, we're definitely not dodging any questions about security here. You asked earlier if there's any security concerns about allowing anybody to become a node operator, and as you've mentioned here, a potential example with people getting access to people's traffic. So, as far as I'm aware, Nam, there's no way for node operators to actually review any of the traffic coming through any of the nodes that they actually operate. If you have any additional questions, Nams, please feel free to jump into the Discord. Everybody and anybody, I think, is willing to help you answer your questions or concerns, as long as they're genuine, right? If you're asking with sort of like a rhetorical tone, then I think that's a separate conversation. But if you're genuinely wondering about security concerns, I think anybody within the world of Discord, especially somebody like Emmanuel, the other Emmanuel, or Manny as we call him, or even Mike, they're all in there. They're happy to answer those quote unquote tough questions. Rob and Cal, we've gone for time's already over. So I know we scheduled an hour. We didn't get through to Earth nodes. We didn't get through to the documentary tease. I think that at least gives you guys a little bit of content for next Saturday. But what are some of the biggest highlights or takeaways from you guys here as we get ready to wrap up, I can't speak anymore, as we get ready to wrap up today's stream? Excuse me.
I just real quick before wrapping, I just want to touch on Nam's question. Are there any security concerns with allowing anybody to become a node operator? Absolutely not. And this is what DePIN is all about, right? Decentralizing an infrastructure. So think of AT&T, think of T-Mobile, think of Verizon, and how many times their networks went down. When you have a decentralized network owned and operated by the people, this right there solves this issue, right? It makes it resilient. Look at what happened in Pakistan, and World Mobile wasn't affected because of that. This is why it's so important to decentralize this infrastructure. Now, your other question, could node operators spy on user traffic? If a regulator comes in, since World Mobile is a regulated entity, they can access that data, which is how it's supposed to be. Now, World Mobile does not have access to that data, and this is the beauty of World Mobile. It's a private network. It doesn't monetize your data, just like AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon do, right? You're in control of your own data, and Earth node operators do not have access to that data. Only the regulator does. The cool part about World Mobile is it will allow you to monetize your data and share your information if you want to with third-party marketers and whatnot. So absolutely not. Node operators do not have access to your data, and they cannot just spy on it. So it's what makes World Mobile so special, and that's a huge selling point of World Mobile, the privacy aspect of it. And more people will start talking about it once the eSIM launches. And not only that, but the eSIM comes with insurance, right? It comes with identity theft insurance and SIM swap insurance. Nobody offers that right now in the United States, especially in the fact that we are a Web3 project, right? All of us hold the token, all of us have portfolios and whatnot. So the fact that you're able to now, or soon, once in you guys heard it today, in January, you're going to have insurance, SIM swap insurance, or identity theft insurance. That right there is a huge selling point to me. So it's amazing. It's beautiful. Very excited about it. Hopefully that answers your questions, by the way.
Yes, and that's what I was going to say. Was it looks like there's a follow-up comment that just came in, basically stating thanks in the fact that NOMS is trying to onboard people, but again, I think that's a concern, and I think from a community's perspective, like that's what the WMA is all about, right? For anybody who has genuine concerns, genuine questions, we'll obviously do the best that we can to answer them. If we can't, at least get people like Emmanuel, as you guys just heard there, to do the bidding for us, for lack of better terms. And so that said, Cal, I'll turn it right back over to you. Anything else that you want to close us out with some of your biggest takeaways? You just mentioned there, the alpha that we heard about this coming January. It seems like between now and Christmas time and into the early next year, there's going to be a lot coming down the pipe. So we've got the Spark nodes, we've got the national rollout there. I don't want to steal your thunder, but go ahead and maybe sort of break down what you're most excited about.
I'm excited about a lot of different things. One of them is probably the documentary, right? That right there and gets me really, really excited about. And obviously the blockchain stuff. We've been very, very patient when it comes to the blockchain stuff, right? Earth node operators, some of them have been let down, but recently whoever has been on the Discord is actually feeling super pumped, super excited about what's coming. And people often talk about adoption, and they always argue over who has the best product, whether it's the fastest or the shiniest, or I guess the most innovative product out there. But what rarely is discussed in our space is demand and also revenue. So it's easy to generate revenue when there's already demand for your product, right? But when there isn't, that's when things start getting wonky and they start falling apart. And this is the reason why so many projects in our space fail, because there's no demand for their product. So I guess let's take a blockchain or cryptocurrency as a whole for an example. Like how many people from immediate circles do you guys know that utilize cryptocurrency or blockchain technology in general? It's probably maybe 1 or 2% that they use, right? Now, like think about how many people use the internet. The gap is massive right there, right? So to me, like this highlights, the unique opportunity that World Mobile brings. Not only do they provide the connectivity through a decentralized blockchain-powered network, right? Just like I explained right now, the more people that own air nodes, the more resilient this network gets. But this to me is like the pathway to onboard all of the Web3 customers that are coming on the blockchain, right? By connecting the communities, what the internet, that right there is going to lay out that foundation. So to me, that's what gets me the most excited, is that I think that World Mobile is like that bridge between the Web 2 space and the Web 3 space. And like Emmanuel said, right now, they're doing it right. They're doing it the proper way. And I just posted on X right now because I was listening, and I was like, all right, cool. Well, Helium, since we talked a little bit about Helium, showed us how the sharing economy works, right? But World Mobile is showing us how the sharing economy actually works successfully. So I'm super excited. I think 2025 is going to be an incredible year. Is going to finally allow us, the community, to be involved through an affiliate program, through launching our networks, and there's going to be so many things that we're going to be excited about. So yeah, looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to being here on the stream and talking about it. I love it.
I love it just as much as you do. Again, I think it's exciting times ahead within World Mobile, outside of World Mobile. Things are just looking very, very positive after a long and brutal bear market. Before I turn it over to Rob, first off, Cal, thank you for that. For anybody who isn't following you, please make sure to go ahead and do so. I do want to take a question that I said I was going to take it earlier, but because, again, we got sort of sidetracked, I think it got lost in the conversation. So Chetas, I hope that you're still here with us, but you were asking earlier about staking and WMTX. I don't feel personally qualified enough to answer this particular one, but I'm looking at Rob. I know that you've sort of kept your ears to the ground here. Anything that you know about WMTX staking and the vault situation?
So staking is not going to turn back on until we have the incentivized testnet going. And that's going to actually, when the ITN turns on, it's going to be incentivized for a reason, because we're going to be actually doing things on the network. For a long time, we've had different, testnet runs and things where we're just making empty blocks just to see if the protocol worked. And once this turns on, and there's talk that things are going to turn on this week, as far as us getting our Earth nodes going. I don't know when the incentivization portion is going to turn on, but once that turns on, there's going to be staking options. And it sounds like there's going to be staking options that are going to be different depending on which type of version of the token that you have. If you're on Base, if you're on ETH, if you're on Cardano, it's the mechanisms might be a little bit different. They're finalizing those mechanisms, because remember, right now they've bridged. They're on 4 different blockchains at the moment, with where the token's at, and so that's a lot of different code, a lot of different protocols that they have to properly deal with, and different protocols have different staking mechanisms and different ways to lock things up, smart contracts and the like. So they're finalizing these options, but there will be options for everyone. And once they're able to turn on this incentivized testnet and start putting traffic through the network, they're going to start putting money through the network in terms of payouts, in terms of staking interest, these types of things. So it's coming. It's coming sooner. We've had a long time. We were spoiled for quite a long time getting those rewards for just holding and not having to do much of anything. And now things are getting reset as they get finalized, and it's going to be, they haven't given us a date. My guess is, I don't know, for Q1 of next year is when it's going to turn on. Whether it's January or March, I don't know, but I believe it's gonna happen, and we'll be well incentivized to keep holding. And the nice thing is, right now, we've had a lot of time to accumulate, a lot of time, and we were not accumulating with price. And at one point it got down to 9 cents a token. And right now it's at like, what, 42 cents. I mean, so prices, but there's still an opportunity. Part of the thing too that's really nice is, because staking is stopped, it keeps the number of tokens on the market down. The liquidity is down. The dilution is down. And so there's an opportunity right now for you to buy. Potentially the price goes up. because there's not as much out there. Once the Earth node rewards start, once the buybacks start getting paid out over time, and I think that's still going to be a while before the buybacks start coming out, because there's so much in Earth node rewards that's been stockpiled. But once these things start to come out, there's more tokens on the open market. And so for right now, with everything being stopped, personally, I think it's a buy opportunity for me, at least, because no new tokens are hitting the market at the moment. So you buy, you take some off, more buying pressure, number goes up higher. So as we're waiting, hopefully that price continues to go up. It was just what, 20 some cents just a couple weeks ago. I mean, it's done very well. And so for that to continue, that's a real nice boost for us if you're counting your pennies, if you're counting your tokens while we're waiting for staking to turn back on. Hope that answers that for you, Freed.
That most definitely does. I want to say thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm like multitasking here, trying to respond to some of the questions in the chat there. Web3 Wonder asking about how to buy. It depends again, as Rob clearly mentioned, the tokens on 4 different networks. So if you want to buy Web3 on Cardano, you can go ahead and do that. You can buy on ETH, you can buy on Base and BNB or the Binance Smart Chain. For Cardano, I think the easiest way or the easiest platform to check out would be either Tap Tools, where you've got the integration of DEX Hunter there on the right-hand side of the WMTX chart. Or you can also head over to some of the biggest DEXs in Cardano right now, for example, like MinSwap. One thing I would actually recommend for anybody else who's interested in actually purchasing WMTX, of course, not financial advice, make sure that you're okay with the decision. You can head over to CoinMarketCap. So I'm actually going to pull this up here very briefly. But from CoinMarketCap here, you've got the markets tab. So at the very top here, if you click on markets, so just let me show that again because I know my cursor was gone. You've got charts and you've got markets. And then from here, it actually lets you know exactly what platforms or what DEXs or sexes, right? Because again, World Mobile is listed on centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges you can pick up the token from. So if you don't want to, have to deal with your own Cardano wallet and you maybe want to just create a KuCoin account or a Mexi account or a Gate.io account, you can go ahead and use this platform to go ahead and figure out exactly where WMTX is listed. Thank you there for answering that question, Rob. Hopefully, Chetas, that was able to answer your concerns about WMTX staking. And I think it's actually back over to you again, Rob, here for closing thoughts and comments as we get ready to wrap up today's stream.
That was a real treat. That was. I reached out to Manuel yesterday, and he said that he was unavailable, but he's become a real life friend. And any chance I get, we live on the other side of the country from each other, so any chance I get to talk to him is always a bonus for me. And you've heard how just straightforward and direct he is. He doesn't try and shy away from things. He goes right at it. If he can't talk about it, he can't talk about it. But he's honest. He's an incredible person, and I'm very, very fortunate to be able to connect with him and just know that beyond World Mobile, beyond Number Go Up, beyond all these things, is I have a real friend there. And I feel the same way, Fareed, about you, and Cal about you as well. And so it's so great when we have these connections with people that you truly care about, and you're also able to go in the same direction with them and motivate each other and do these things together. And so I'm very, very happy that Emmanuel came on. The things that he talked about are just, these are the things that you think about on the long drive home from work, when you're taking a car ride or something and you're by yourself, and you're, man, what's World Mobile going to do? And you start to just your imagination goes wild. And I've thought about all these things from the perspective, it'd be cool if we did this next, or it'd be cool if this thing happened. And he just laid all of those out and said, oh, by the way, those are coming, and they're coming really, really soon. I would encourage anybody who's watching right now to go back and watch the replay of this when Emmanuel comes on, and just listen to what he says. One of those things, take notes, start to make plans. My thing is, I got to figure out now. I want to invest in Pakistan. I used to live there. I have a lot of very fond memories from my time in Pakistan. So I want to invest there, but I want to put a note up at my house. I want to own the hexes around my area. I want to be able to connect my community. I live in a dead zone. If I didn't have Wi-Fi connect on my router and on my iPhone, I could not make a phone call from my house. So I have to get something here. You know, I have good fiber internet, but I have no cell phone coverage, and so I have to get something here. I need World Mobile at my house. So I'm trying to think, where is all this going to come from? How can I best put to use to expand World Mobile Network while benefiting myself? And what I love is that they're not mutually exclusive. We can do for others. We can help provide. We can help connect and do all these things and take profit. And it's not greed. It's not selfishness. It's something that we're doing just to better everyone's situation and including our own. You know, I heard Mickey talk the other day, and he was talking about how he loves charity work, and he loves nonprofits, and he loves altruism and helping other people out, but it's not sustainable because eventually you run out of somebody else's money. And so the ability here for us to expand, for us to grow, to do things, to be able to connect while still not running the well dry ourselves personally, emotionally, financially. World Mobile provides these opportunities, and it's something that I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm very motivated to be a part of this. And it doesn't show, does it?
I had no clue, Rob.
Yeah, right. So I'm excited. I think this has been a really good year. I think back, and I'm sure we'll do a highlight show or something where we'll talk about our favorite memories sometime in December. But there's been so many things that have happened to World Mobile. So many, I mean, highs and then higher highs. My two favorite memories though are spending time with Emmanuel and James Tagg at the Aerostat, and then meeting with everyone at Rare Evo, and just getting to connect. I love doing these shows. I love participating on the live streams. You know, I like that my portfolio is going up because the price is going up. These opportunities are great. They're exciting to see the expansion, but really the thing that matters the most to me, the things that have the best memories are getting all together. And so I look forward to many opportunities in 2025, especially as this thing goes. Whether that be we're meeting in Reno to learn how to install our own air nodes. We're doing a coffee meetup somewhere. We're driving somewhere to go take over an area. We're meeting at Rare Evo. We're flying to Europe for a convention. Whatever that looks like, I'm very excited for what 2025 holds, because 2024 is just, I feel like this is like the accelerating on ramp to the interstate, and we're just picking up speed right now. And there's been so many spaces this past couple of weeks. There's been so many announcements. It's hard to keep track of everything, and not just, oh yeah, acknowledge it happened, but to keep track of it, get the information and put it to use. And so for the rest of this year, my goal is I want to put this information to use. I want to start making a bigger plan. I want to know what these options and opportunities are and how to best maximize, not just for myself, but for what we do together, the three of us, and what we're talking about with other members of the Alliance and other members of this community, and how we can encourage each other. Because as you heard Emmanuel say, it's overwhelmingly big, and he lives this every day, and I don't know how he can juggle it all. That's why he had to leave. He had to go back to work on a Saturday. There's so many things happening, and I'm just encouraged. I'm motivated. I'm humbled that with all that he has going on, he comes on this space with us to talk, not just talk to us, but to talk to everybody here viewing and listening and watching the recording. And I can't say enough good things about World Mobile, about who they are as people, about what they're doing, and what it means to me personally. So very motivated, very encouraged. And right now I need to, I posted the other day on X that I'm trying to stay off X for a while and just put my head down. I got a lot of things I need to sort out and get done here to get ready for what's coming, because I can see it, and I don't want to waste any more time. I want to be ready, so that the moment Emmanuel, the moment Mickey say, "Hey, it's time," things are ready to turn on. Things are ready to go out. Areas are ready to get connected. I'm very excited for what's coming here.
Yeah, I think you speak for the collective of us. A lot of people here itching, right? Foaming at the mouth, for lack of better terms, to get rolling, to contribute, to provide value, to onboard their family members, and to even just use all of these services. So wonderful closing words from the both of you guys here. For the viewers, if you guys have not already done so, please, please, please follow the WMA, the World Mobile Alliance. I've gone ahead and left the link to it down below as a part of today's video description. You can find them or tag them at World Mobilers here. Again, I feel like this particular chat did not go as scheduled, but in a good way, in a very positive way. And I think to that end, it actually leaves content for next week's show. So if you guys are not planning to do so, definitely make sure to get it on your calendars here. We'll be going live from the official WMA account with the Twitter space. We'll be discussing the upcoming documentary. We missed the big news here, the fact that, again, price has just been continuing to push up. We haven't even touched on Earth nodes, but there's a lot of things to discuss. And now with a little bit of this alpha, maybe we can pull on some of those strings to talk about, you know, the eSIM rollout, some of the nationwide coverage, and then even talking about the country with the infamous P, right? So I think there's quite a bit there, but that'll do it here for today's stream. I want to take an opportunity very quickly here. John, thank you so much for the wonderful commentary and questions there. Mundell Bear, same goes for you. Jeff Delta Notes, always a pleasure to see you here. Thanks for tuning in on the last space there. We've got Tom. We've got Wave Nodes. Salute, Mr. Waves. And then we've also got Dre and Eric. I wish I could go through the entire list here. Kristen, thank you all. Thank you all so much. This has been an awesome treat for me. Again, if you guys have enjoyed content like this and you guys want more of it, make sure to consider subscribing to the channel. If it's your first time stopping by and you did appreciate this, just hit that thumbs up. It really does go a long way. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, we're happy to answer all of those. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. That said, you guys all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.